Welcome back to That Alley Garage. Today's awesome episode. We're going to be working on my 997.2 Porsche 911 Turbo. I'm going to be installing bigger intercoolers with Y-pipe. We're going to go through the kit. I bought the AMS kit. Came with also, I'm going to go through the kit, show you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And then we're going to go to the car and we'll start doing the install step by step. So first we're going to go through the parts. The AMS kit comes with these beautiful air ducts that you'll never see once it's installed. Maybe I'll drive my car with no bumper for a day or two, so at least I can, sport my new ducts in there. Anyways, that aside, comes with silicone piping, which a lot of these kits kind of do, but I prefer not to. I don't like them so much. These are it. With my experience, doing racing, building race cars in the past, the silicone piping, especially one this long, usually I like little couplers. These, they're hard to reach places, so I understand why they opt out. Let's just say like the Markski tuned intercooler, the intercooler piping kit that I installed on the 911 Turbo had more solid piping, which I like better, and I'll tell you why. These silicone piping, even though they have threading on the inside or netting to keep them from expanding, they do need to expand. They have a little bit of cushion in them that they do expand, especially once they get heated up. They become a little softer, so that gives you a slight delay. Before the engine gets boosted, all the piping needs to swell up with pressure, and that's like a slight delay that you feel over time. It makes you have more boost lag. Not by a lot, but more if it is a solid pipe. So that's one thing. A really good thing that I do like about these kits is that they didn't cheap out on the intercoolers themselves. Beautiful pieces, nice ends, but they use Garrett cores. Really cool, expensive, high quality stuff. Oi. That's one good thing. Has a little hardware kit, and then the Y-pipe. Gorgeous little piece, but I don't like it so much. And I'm going to tell you why. I'll show you exactly why. Let's see if we could show it on camera. You have the casting marks on the inside. It's very rough. On the outside, very smooth, as it's typical of a lot of carbon fiber parts. The casting on the inside it's casting. So, oh shoot. I believe they should have went through these things. Like over here, these pipes, somewhat nice, but I don't like the Y over here. The Y shape has, I'm going to go in with a Dremel. I'm going to smooth it out. To me, it's kind of like not a finished product, let's just say. It's good, it functions good. Hopefully it will function good. It'll hold the pressure with no leaks, because we're going to do a few boost leak tests on this throughout the install. So first step before anything, I'm going to clean out all the burrs in this with a burring tool, and then we'll get to the car and start disassembling the bumper, the wheels, and the wheel wells, so we can get to the stock intercoolers, rip them out, install this stuff. So stay tuned for that. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I need the subscribers. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Let's get to work. So before I get to it, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This is my deburring tool. Put it on a drill. Nice little. I use these types of tips to port and polish heads and anything aluminum or steel. This is for steel, or this is the final cut for aluminum. You see here, there's a tip right here. I want to try to do just a little bit on camera. You can see what I'm talking about. Yeah. See, also, if it was in the middle, I would say okay, fine. But it's like at an angle, it's gonna obstruct here. You got a big like bump over here. Let's do that one. That's gonna be a quick one on camera. So you just got to go through the whole thing without going through, obviously. Just clearing out as much as possible. And that's it. So I'm just going to do that real quick off camera so we can start the install. Alright. So about after an hour of sanding this down or polishing, yeah. It doesn't look sexy in there, but it's a lot better. The bump that was here is dramatically removed. I didn't want to take out too much material because I also didn't want to take out the strength and integrity of this pipe itself, but those casting marks I went through also here. I went around, cleaned it up so we can get all of the powers. Alright, let's start installing. Okay, so as of now, airbox. We're gonna move this guy, the Y pipe. If you remember on one of my last episodes, we installed the meth injection, so that's gonna be I'm gonna have to redo that. So I have the quick disconnects over here, so it's gonna come out with my Y pipe, disconnect the electric. I have a few connectors here. We're going to take the Y pipe, the intake out. These are stuff we did in the past. I'm going to have to disconnect on both sides the short, stubby, how you call it, upper intercooler hose. We're going to lift the car up, and we're going to take each intercooler off one at a time and rebuild them with the new one. So I'm just going to do this real quick. Again, if you've seen this in one of my last episodes, so this is very simple stuff here. And also we're going to have to transfer this sensor over to the next Y pipe. Alright, now for removing the intercooler. We're going to kind of do this step by step. First one I like to do is there's a hidden screw over here that you will most likely forget to get. It's a small Torx. And if you forget it, you're gonna remember this video and laugh at yourself. I forgot it a few times, so it happens. Organize your screws nicely. 13 millimeter. Pull this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. This last one we're going to keep here just to hold it for now. There's a few on the heat shield we're going to get to from underneath. Alright, but we'll organize the screws. Before that, we are going to take a flathead screwdriver, lift. Oh, wait. Let's get some light in here. Alright, so lift this guy. Okay, so before, this is the little screw that goes right here, is the little Torx screw, the first screw that I took off. There is, you got to lift this here so we could pull the intercooler piping out. Leave that right there for now. Now we're going to go again with a 13 millimeter. We're going to look under here. We got 1, 2, The two, or I think there's another one. All right, two. Peel that down. I loosened this earlier. Lower radiator hose. I mean radiator hose. Intercooler pipe. Hardware here. All right, pull your last one. And we're ready to pull it. Another thing is just loosen this here just for the duct to be able to come out more easily. You see it needs that space. Oh, look at the trash in there. So we're gonna put this on the bench, disassemble it. We're gonna look at all the garbage that accumulates in these things, in the intercoolers. This is just from a year, so I'm excited to take that apart. I'm gonna organize and I'll meet you at the bench. All right, so before we disassemble the assembly, okay, take two. All right, so before we disassemble the assembly, I want to just prepare our new ductwork, the carbon fiber ductwork. Now, we're going to do this right now because once we have everything assembled, we're just going to want to throw this the bad boy on it, and might forget to do this part out of excitement of just getting the job done and all that. So AMS supplied us with some foam thing. I don't know why. Not enough. If I can complain to them, somebody's listening. Not enough. I started putting it on one of the sides, and I could have used the whole thing on one side. It's not good idea to cheap out on something like this, especially this stuff is not expensive, but when you're in the middle of the job, hard to find last minute. So I was really cheap on the other side, and I was stretching it as much as I can get it. I wish I could have been more liberal with this, with installing this foam. See, I'm trying to get as much as I can out of it. All right. I mean, I wish I could snug this whole thing, but all right. Okay, so that's the top. Now another thing that if I can suggest to them, I put felt on the carbon fiber here because it's going to be touching the intercooler. This is going to eventually, with vibration, rub into the aluminum intercooler and might damage it over time. So I put some felt in between to absorb the vibration and to make it last longer before it digs in. So this is a cheap thing that they could have included in the kit as well, but they dropped the ball on this one. Now, where to buy this, I can't tell you because it's one of those things that I don't know because I stole it from Luke's shop again. It's one of those things that it's really nice to have when you have it. I had it laying around. Look at that. That's how you make a nice, beautiful job. I'm going to put that aside, and we're ready for our intercooler disassembly. All right, put this on the garbage can because there's a lot of dirt in this. Alright, ready? Ready for the reveal? Look at that. Ah, this is from the racetrack. Rubber. From the tires. We got some bugs. We got some rocks. We got some leaves. Alright, while it's still here, I want to just disassemble it. C-clips. Off and out. Where's the C-clip here? Alright, let's just take this duct out. Alright, that's done. I'm going to clean the parts and I'll meet you there. Alright, before I continue with the install, I just want to show you what the factory intercooler looks like, the thickness of it, versus the Garrett one, or the one that came with the AMS kit. Look at the difference in thickness. Pretty cool. You could definitely see that this is going to be a lot more efficient in cooling. Thickness of the runners that carry the water a lot thicker here, so you could get this one is going to be less restrictive flowing through it. Cool. Anyways, let's get to it. So with our bracket set, right, we're going to, it came with its own bolts and these spacers that go into the factory bushings. So you keep the bushings in there, and I'll show you the bushings. You should have in there already from the factory ones, has these rubber bushings that keep the aluminum away from touching the steel on the come on guys, help me out here. It keeps these rubber bushings keep the aluminum from touching the steel, so this way they don't rub and the aluminum wears out and creates holes in it. So install goes this way. I like to get one bolt in there before I install the under duct. The duct got to go in there before. Just hand thread it. And then I could put our air duct, the lower duct. There we go. And now I could catch all four. Just hand thread them before. These are 14mm bolts. Alright. Now we're going to install our duct, the carbon fiber duct. Alright. And how do you keep this guy in place? Zip ties. Now because this is such a long intercooler, I have to use two of them. Oh, that sound, but alright. So I have to use two like this to just extend it. There's one. And then you got to do the opposite side, the other side as well. Next part of this, it's a little, you could say it's overkill, but this is how I like to do my job. We want a good clean job. First, I want to tell you about this. It's duct tape, but it's not the one with any, it's basically aluminum with sticky glue stuff to it. I'm going to cut it in the middle. I don't need the thickness. Right? So now, it's very thin, it's easy, it rips easily, but it's there to, I put it around all the joints just to make sure that it seals properly, because all the air coming through here, I want it to go through the intercooler. The top part is more important than the bottom part, but you definitely want this. Alright, now it's ready to install into the car. In preparation to install the intercooler, we're going to do a few things. First, this intercooler piping comes with the hose to go into the recirculating valve. So we're going to take out the recirculating valve that's existing and throw them out. Next, we're going to put this one in through the hole just because it's a lot easier to get to it before we install or while we install. See, it's like hard to get it even in the hole. So imagine if the intercooler was there. So you just get it in the hole, push it through a little bit, arrange this one close to where it should be, right? Like that. You don't have to push it in yet into there. Another thing that we're going to have to do that is kind of Porsche cringeworthy is, I did this before off camera. There's a tab over here like this. What you got to do is cut it with the grinder because the bigger intercooler comes over here. So basically what happens is actually I'll show you on the other side. It comes so close to the intercooler, the carbon fiber and the intercooler. So we want that extra space by cutting it. And if you see here, I put a piece of rubber. This is just a little rubber hose that I cut to length, and I cut it the long way, which I'm going to go get right now. I'm going to go make another one. And I'm just going to slide it in there. I'll leave it here so whenever I'm installing the intercooler, I just slide it in. It'll hold it itself into place. And this you could throw away. Alright, so the next thing I like to do is take the fender liner out of here and take this duct out. And it has 10mm bolts. You pull them out, a few over here. This way we can, when we put the intercooler, we have all the access we need to get into it. And I'm going to show you inside another little tip. I like to put the tape to tape the inside of the duct to all around here, just so the air coming through here has an easier, smoother line coming through. So now we're ready to install the intercooler. When I pick it up, I want to line it up over here, try to put it here. It's easier if you have somebody to help you hold it, so you could put it inside. And then there are these studs on the body, one here, that you could slide it into if you want. You could even put the nut on top of it and slide it in there. There's a few brackets fit into there, but it's pretty straightforward. Put in the big bolts in first.
You want me to hold this?
Yeah, oh, in the front of it would be good.
This is the front?
Yeah. All right. So with the duct in, I want to show you there is a gap. Can we get to it? Hold on. With it in, you could see inside there's a gap over here. So I'm going to take tape and I'm going to make it a smooth transition. All right. So now, oh, we're going to get turned on light. Now you could see that with the tape you could smoothen down the transition and you won't have any air leaking away. Alright, so the next part is to connect the clamps over here to the blow-off valves on both ends. I mean, of course, this side is done already. I prepared the hose clamps for the Y pipe, installed the air box. I think it's time for me to get a new air filter. I should do that soon. But as of now, I'll run it with this. And I'm about to put the Y pipe. Now, before putting the Y pipe, I did have to trim some of it. It was just a little bit too long. There's a groove in here, if you notice. There's also over here. It was hard to get this on, but it did go on without having to trim it. That's one thing about this, but on this end, I had to trim it because there's a groove over here. You want it to sit in the groove so the clamp can clamp down on the grooved part to prevent the leaks. So I'm going to install this, plug the electric, plug the two lines that go over here, tighten up the clamps, and then we're going to boost leak test it. All right, this is it. Y pipe's in, bolted in. And time for the boost leak. The truth be told, I already did the boost leak. I have my findings, but I'm going to show you the procedure. So, I mean, I have another video that explains it, but I'll just go roughly right now and explain to you. On this end, we're just going to plug it. So this is going to get filled all the way till this point. Okay? We're going to fill up the whole system up to that point, and on this side. On this side is our spout. It's just like a tire fill, right? Turn your gauge on, and you can fill up the whole system. Ready? See 0 psi. I'm filling it up. £14 pounds in there, and it's dropping slowly, but it is. I'm going to just bring it up to 20 pounds. There we go. 20 pounds. So it's going down about like 3 seconds each psi. I'm going to let it power. It's okay, not great. There's something I need to look into. I mean, if somebody knows, please comment. It's something I have to look into. So behind this, oh, you hear it squealing? Behind this blow-off valve or diverter valve, it's something that looks like a PCV valve for me. To me, it looks like a PCV valve. There's a big pipe that goes into it. It seems like it's leaking in there a little bit. So I need to find the diagrams for the PCV system in this car so I can really, you know, see exactly where it is. I don't want to fight with it too much because we have very limited space to put my hands in there and all that. So that's a project for a different day. But all in all, install went in good. All my pipes over here, nothing leaking. And that's it. The rest is putting the bumper on, tail lights, wheels, and we're ready to go. Again, another thing that I have to figure out is meth. I got to see where I want to install my new meth injectors. If I can find something to put into the carbon fiber, drilling a hole and not losing the integrity of this, and let it be able to thread it in. I gotta figure it out. That's something for a different day, because I just want to drive my car, and I need a new filter soon. So all in all, good video. I hope you guys enjoyed the content of this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you're not, please subscribe, and all that good stuff. Like, comment, all that. I wish I don't have to do this parts of the stuff, but it's the only way to build the channel.